Hello and welcome. Just building some striking scorpions again, so I thought I'd live stream it. Hope you're well.
I pension thee.
Yeah, so we're just gonna carry on with these, I think. I had planned on live streaming earlier this week, but you know, things happen, so we're here now. Going to be here for sort of the next kind of couple of hours or so. So we got to this point here with this one. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, I do want to finish these today. Hopefully I can. Looking for the middle torso. Why did you think it would be in there? Oh, there it is. 29, 31. Now they're using 33 and 32 for the weapons. But I think if we use these, they would end up the same as that one. So we don't really want to use those two. Six for the head. That's 35. We need the 34, the Mandy Blasters, which is there. What I'm going to do is just take these off, this 45 and 44. Just ready, because they might be a better kind of weapon option, I think. Yeah, as always, don't be shy. Put in the comments what you're working on today. I've got some time off work, so that's why I'm live streaming in the middle of the day. Just for a couple of hours or so. I should live stream probably Sunday. I'll try to. It's just a little chilled out stream today on this Friday. Really. Right, that's those parts sort of cleaned up, so we will put them together. Well, that was fruitful. Luckily, my arms are quite long, so I can grab that. And yep, so it sort of goes like that. Again, I probably would cut this knobbing off so that you can pose the head. Right, so these were the two close combat weapons we weren't going to use, so we've got a choice. Oh, let's put the grenade pack on before we forget that. Say grenade pack, it's magazines and a grenade. So we've got a couple of options. We can either go, yeah, that one. I don't know. No, I don't think that would work. or maybe. Yeah, maybe that could work. Aiming. Possibly. What's the chainsword action looking like though? Yeah, you could probably put that down. Or even like that. That's a possibility. How about this one then? What's this one looking like? Yeah, I'm liking this more. I don't know, like, maybe I could match it so that I have this chainsaw down and this up. Yeah, we're gonna mix and match it a little bit. We're gonna go for that. Hi Mighty Oak, how are you doing? Thank you. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, other than the size comparisons in the videos, in the reviews, there's not really an awful lot that you need to like look at, I guess. So yeah, you could have all the videos running in the background. I think there's a couple of people that have told me, a couple of viewers that have said that they have my videos running when they're in the car, you know, just to get my thoughts and opinions on certain minis. But yeah, no, these are Scorpions. There's Scouts in the background. I built all of those and reviewed them. So now I'm just finishing off the other force in the set. These Scorpions. They're not really Scouts. I'd say for Eldari or Eldar, Rangers would sort of classify as their Scouts. These are Aspect Warriors, so they're kind of an elite force, renowned for their Mandy blasters, their pistols, their chainswords, and their sort of Scorpion armour, which is normally a 3+ save. One of the best saves that Eldar can get. Which kind of means that I've got, I want to say I've got 10 Striking Scorpions now with these, because I'd never bought any of the Finecast minis for Striking Scorpions. So yeah, exactly. Cool. Do you end up painting these guys? I just haven't got the time, Mighty. Like, I typically make a video every day, and I have a full-time job, and I have a separate part-time job as well. So that's a lot of time for me to do other things. The thing is, if I had the wish to paint models like afterwards, because I've got like 20 armies as well, there's that. But if I had a wish to paint them as soon as I built them, yeah, probably would reduce the videos down to 1 a week. So there's a sacrifice, you know, either far less content, and I get painted models, or painted models or not many painted models and more content. I'd rather give everyone more content, you know, than paint the models. I don't know. That question sort of sounds like you're new here. That's all. Which is cool. Welcome if you are. I've got sort of almost finished Dimacheron in the corner there, which I did do some live streams on. Painting, nearly finished that. Just got a little bit of highlighting to do, and then the base. And then I want to do a review of it when it's complete. As long as I'm always happy doing that. I like giving. I'm a giver, not a taker. I like giving to the community. I've definitely given a lot to the community over the past, what, decade or so. We're not that far off sort of 4,000 videos, which is crazy. You know, but like I say, it's a sacrifice. I could paint a lot of the models, but I wouldn't be able to run the channel as successfully. Right, we're going to have this there. I'm going to have his head aiming up. Yeah, a bit of an awkward pose, this one, but we're going to go for it. We'll see if it... Yeah, I think that's fine in the end. Yeah. Something that you don't normally see. How do you store 20 armies? Carefully is my answer. Very carefully. There's no way I can have it all on show. And this is another thing, like, it's so easy to say, oh yeah, you know, paint all your minis and stuff, but actually they'd be painted and then put back in boxes. So and I don't think it'd take me too long to sort of paint them. 3 colours is the GW legal limit, so I could put 3 colours on everything and then they are painted. But that's the other thing, like, I could paint things and classify them as painted, but there'll always be viewers and people with opinions that will say, oh well, it's not painted. It's like, well, where do you draw the line? Like, you know, painted to your standard. Well, I can never paint things to your standard because that's your standard. That's the whole point of it being your standard. Anyway, I've built that one. I think that's turned out quite well. Looks very different to this one, so I'm quite happy with that. That's quite cool. Oh, this is what I wanted. I wanted them all to look a little bit different. So we're on to the next set of twins, which is good. Oh, fairly new. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. If you've been watching me for like years, for like a decade or whatever, you'd sort of, yeah, know that. If you are fairly new, then I will say that I prefer building more than anything, more than any other part of the hobby. And I always say, you know, spend time on part of the hobby or hobbies that you enjoy the most. You know, painting is my least favourite out of everything. So, yeah, why would I spend more time on that? Just because it's other people's favourite part of the hobby. You know, it's my hobby, and it's my time. I'll spend my time on my hobby the way I want to. You know, and for me, when I do paint, I take absolutely ages. Like, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I'll go over the same model again and again and again, and also over time I'll go back to that model and you know, add things to it. Except for the really old models, I'll rarely add anything to those. So we used up 45 and 44 on the other Scorpion, but we should still set this one up. That is the special sprue, that one. Yeah, they're special sprues. There's a 45 one. Right, so we've used up 2 45s. I'm guessing it's this one. No, it's this one right here. What about this blade? Kind of looks like it's the one. Yeah, I think it is. It's not this one. What's this one actually look like? Okay. That's a lot of questions, Mike Yoke. It's a lot of questions. Why? Like, let me. Sorry, I don't think what I said before kind of went in. It's, I don't know why, but let me just rephrase what I said earlier. I make a video a day. This isn't my job. I have a full-time job and a part-time job as well. That should really give you your answers, like for any and all sort of extra time that I have. And let me repeat myself again. The most enjoyable part of the hobby for me is building. I'll probably say secondly is collecting. You know, I like collecting. Try and collect at least one of each unit in an army, and I don't mean to collect 20 armies. That's just the way it's sort of happened. I wouldn't have all those armies if I didn't run the channel. There's a lot of armies that I bought for the channel. But I like the questions. You know, I do like the questions. You know, they definitely help with the live streams. Revan will attain to that. Thanks, John. Any specific Horus Heresy models you're interested in being released, like characters? Yeah, the Emperor. Some of the perpetuals, probably say. This is the thing. Like I thought that because Games Workshop were releasing Horus Heresy in plastic, Forge World would step up and release more than they ever had. You know, you just expect that. Well, I expected that. Maybe my expectations are very high. And also another thing that I expected was for Games Workshop and Forge World to release models close to the Siege of Terror. I mean, they started off strong with Zephon and Ran, but yeah, I really had hoped that they would, well, just release a Siege of Terror box set. Maybe. I mean, I like the fact that Solar Auxiliary is on its way. That's quite cool. But I would love Mechanicum. I'd love Dark Mechanicum. I'd love some more demons. Yeah, I'd definitely. I just thought there'd be more characters to coincide with the books and things. I mean, I guess, you know, if you've been reading Horus Heresy for years, you would have read about Corswain and stuff and the Lion, and you know, we did only get a Corswain model. What, 2022? Did we get him? So that's still quite a long time to wait, and I think that that'll probably happen with the Siege of Terror. We'll get some resin minis of them. You know, further down the line. It's nice to see that Black Shield guy though. He looks quite a big Space Marine. It's just nice to see you know, another character like that. What do you think? Is there any specific ones you'd like to see? How did I get into Warhammer? Very good question. I haven't had that one for a while. It was my friend at school. He went to a Warhammer club, and I didn't really know much about it. And I went with him to a local kind of newsagent shop. So it wasn't a Games Workshop or anything. I just went with him, and he was picking up a Space Marine Whirlwind. This was back when they made vehicles in plastic and metal, so you got some metal parts with it. And he was picking up this Whirlwind, and I think the main reason he was picking it up was he wanted a vehicle that could fire quite long range and couldn't be seen. But then again, I think back then you needed line of sight, because this is like second edition, I think. And I went with him. We had a look in the box and things, and he picked it up, and then he got me thinking about Warhammer and about, you know, what army to collect. And of course there weren't that many armies back then. There was no Tau, there was no Necrons, there was barely just Dark Eldar. You know, you had all the Eldar models were pretty much in metal. You had Orcs, Eldar, Dark Eldar, Space Marines, some Imperial Guard. You had Chaos Space Marines, you had some Tyranids, and that might have been it. No Knights, no Titans, no, you know. Sisters of Battle were kind of a thing. Sorry, they were in metal. No plastic minis whatsoever for them. They were all metal. One of my friends wanted to start that army, and he did get a few minis. I wonder if he's still got them. We don't keep in touch, but yeah, eventually, like, he sort of convinced me to pick up that there was a starter set for like £10. And it included 5 Space Marines in there, and I picked it up. Got a can of spray paint, white spray paint, because back then they didn't do black, it was just white. And yeah, painted sort of 5 Space Marines, and then I got like a command squad, and then I got like a pack of 10, and we sort of went from there. And I've still got all of those minis. I've still got all of the minis that I've ever bought. I've never sold any of them or given them away. So yeah, quite a long time ago. So that's how I got into it. And I did have a hiatus. I had a couple of hiatuses. Probably from like 2006 or 7. Or maybe, no, probably from 2005 to 2008. So for about 3 years, I was out of the hobby. Then I bought some Space Marines, and I didn't really do much with them. And then I had another hiatus from 2008 to 2012 or so, when I started the channel. And then yeah, for the past 12 years I've been yeah, quite in the hobby. I'd probably still say that I spend more time video gaming now than on Warhammer. Well, video gaming and watching films, probably. I spent a lot of time on the hobby the past 2 years, though. A lot. So just got to be careful not to get kind of fatigued by it all, because it is a thing, you know, buying too much and building too much. And but so far this year, 2024, it's been a nice sort of balance so far, I feel. Probably would have wanted to get all of these minis from this set completed quicker, but you know what, Games Workshop, they have changed their pre-order window for 2 weeks now. That is a standard, and they said that in one of their articles. So I guess for me, as a creator, content creator, I guess, sort of taking the pressure off a bit. I don't feel as much of a need to build and review things as quick as I used to now, because Games Workshop are just releasing it, you know, at a steadier pace. Well, not releasing it, but having the pre-orders at a slower pace. Just wish they didn't have something out every week, though. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think that there should be fewer releases and not as often? Or do you think it's okay? I mean, it's alright if you just collect one army, but if you kind of collect multiple and for different game systems like Heresy and Age of Sigmar, can get a bit much. Oh, we didn't even get ahead. 27. There it is. Oh, okay, John. Okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I don't think they'll release any new Astra Militarum, but I think that obviously they're releasing Solar Auxilia, which does have some kind of Imperial Guard Astra Militarum tanks that can be used. So it might be worth checking out those. You know, I'm going to be collecting Solar Auxilia. Like, let's face it, guys. I will be collecting that, and that is mainly because of the tanks. So. We're not going to cut the nubbin off this one. I'm going to keep the nubbin on. And that is another one done. Excellent. Smash them. So now this second one is going to use some of the parts, but is going to look different. So we'll just have him there for a moment. Right, so now we just need those parts again. 37, 38. There we are. it on. And then, yep. 46 for the Andy Blaster, yep, 46 and 47. And obviously we've used 45 and 44, so we've got a choice here of, well, two different chainsword and a shuriken pistol. But if we grab 56 and 57, then we've got another option. I mean, I think they'll sell these in a box of 5 for £32.50 or whatever Banshees sell for. Which is, yeah. If I was going to pick up another set of these, I think I could probably squeeze out some new poses, possibly. But after 15, it would be pushing it. I mean, you can only have 10 in a unit anyway, but if you were kind of building a force of mainly aspect warriors and for some reason you wanted, I don't know, 20 of them, well, if you wanted a force of 20 of them, you could probably find the older models somewhere. The sizes are going to be very, very similar, aren't they? In the review, I'll show you some size comparisons with the older ones, much like I did with the Scouts. Do you think when Games Workshop makes a 40k Fulgrim, it'll top the 30k resin Fulgrim? I don't know, because they haven't really done that. What I mean by that is we've got Horus Heresy Mortarion, and we've got 40k Mortarion, but we don't have Mortarion Ascended. So I would use the 40k one as Mortarion Ascended. And likewise with Fulgrim, we've got Fulgrim Ascended, and we've got Fulgrim Horus Heresy. Again, why couldn't you use Fulgrim Ascended as the 40k one? I mean, he hasn't really changed much. I'd argue that Mortarion has changed more, you know, without going into spoilers and stuff. But I would argue Mortarion has changed more than Fulgrim, you know, from his Horus Heresy / Uber Ascended to, you know, his 40k one. I don't think that, how do I say this? I don't think that from a transformation point of view, they are like for like. Like, I don't think when they transform, whatever word you want to put there, instead of transform, that they are exactly a copy. I think there are changes, which is cool and interesting, you know. I mean, you only have to look at the changes with Gilliman and with the Lion, you know. And they're just normal Primarchs, aren't they? But I don't know whether we'll get a 40k Fulgrim. I hope we do. Like, out of all of the legions, I think Emperor's Children are now severely lacking. You know what I would like them to see them do for 40k is give Emperor's Children a similar sort of treatment as Death Guard. I mean, when I used to play against people with Chaos Space Marines, the only sort of Death Guard they'd have would be like a couple of Plague Marines. That's it. And then all of a sudden, sort of 2016, 2017, yeah, 2017 really, we got full-on Death Guard army with Primarch and, you know, everything. And I just hope that Games Workshop do that with Emperor's Children. But looking at what they did to World Eaters, I don't think we'll get that anymore. I think, unfortunately, Games Workshop will spend the bare minimum now on like an additional force, additional army. I mean, yeah, I don't think they'll go all in like they did with Death Guard. And they really did. I mean, part of it was 8th edition. That played a factor. But then again, they didn't exist before, unlike Necrons, when they fully re-released Necrons for 9th. But even what they did with Necrons wasn't to the same scale as Death Guard. You know, we did get a lot of new miniatures and things for Necrons, but it wasn't like they didn't exist before. They did. So they sort of had a basis from it. Yeah, of course they will. Of course they'll look better. I mean, otherwise, what's the point? You know, they always have looked better. But that's what you expect for the price point, you know. Do you buy a £95 plastic Fulgrim 40k mini, or do you pay almost double for the resin one? That's the thing. But it's at odds with their other business models. Like, they're bringing back some of the models for the old world, like the Hag in resin, which is lots and lots of detail on that model, by the way. But yet that's at odds with, like, their demons, for instance. You know, you've got the Great Unclean one, which they obviously make a lot of money off of in plastic, but they haven't brought back the resin one. And the resin one was less cartoony, more grimdark, just better, I think. Yeah, the plastic model's cool because you get a number of options and things. But no, the resin one was very, very good. But again, unfortunately, they kept up in the price. Do you not burn out by cleaning all the models up to this level? Burn out. Do you not burn out? No. I have to do it. I have to do it for the review. So I think a couple of the scenery pieces, like these, I left, but that was mainly to show you an example of the terrible mold lines and gaps that you get with the scenery, which goes with the territory, with the terrain from GW, actually. But no, I guess everybody has their own sort of limits and their own quality control, what they feel comfortable with minis. I know plenty of people that will clip the pieces off the sprue, glue it together. I know people that will clip the pieces off the sprue, maybe shave down a little bit with a knife, and then glue it together and all the rest of it. For me, though, like, as I said at the start, these models, I've still got models from decades and decades ago. So if I'm going to keep these for decades and decades, I don't want to, spray them, paint them, and them have, um, mold lines or bits of sprue plastic still on them. Just doesn't sit right. I can't leave models sort of unfinished like that. Again, it's what part of the hobby you like the most. There's plenty of people that love the gaming side, so for them, building these models and painting them and all the rest of it as quick as humanly possible just to game with them is their jam, and that's fine. More power to you if you want to go out and game with them straight away. But I'm definitely more of a collector than a gamer. And the thing is, these aren't cheap anymore. Like, sorry to break it to you, but you can't get, 20 orcs for 10 quid anymore, or 10 space marines for a tenner. You just can't. Like this set, well, just a set of 5 of these are going to cost you £32 or so. And if you haven't got the time to sort of clean them up properly, then yeah, I don't know. Are you getting the most out of your 30 quid? It's a bit like saying, am I getting the most out of mine not painting or playing with them, really? Similar sort of thing. And also, some people, unfortunately, haven't got that those motor skills to hold a small piece of plastic like this to clean up, I guess. I mean, painting wise, you could cheat a little bit and use an airbrush and get them all done quite quick. You don't really need to hold them that well to do that. You could batch spray them, batch paint them. If I was to get burnt out by anything, it would be if I've got like 20 space marines to build. Yeah, that would leave me a little bit burnt out. I would say. If it's the same model over and over. But luckily for these, I've got a bit of creative freedom. So this is the same as that one. So what we'll do is we'll take the nubbin off. I don't know about that, because the Great Unclean one was about, I want to say 60 quid or so, and then it went past the £100 price point. Zinch Demon was lovely, yeah. The Slanesh one, there's lots and lots of little parts for that one. But I want them all back. Like, it's a shame that they took them away. Because unfortunately now people don't have the option. It's just either the lower detailed, but still relatively expensive 40k demons and great demons, or nothing. Like, there's that choice has been taken away. You can't go, all right, well, I want a really high detailed, expensive resin demon. You just haven't got that choice anymore. So it's almost like it's you've got a choice with the characters, like Kabanda. It's Kabanda or a plastic bloodthirster, really. Yeah, definitely. This is the thing. Like, I don't know. I see so many so many. I don't see that many. I see quite a few hobbyists that, for some reason, they'll really try hard on paint jobs and things, but when you look closely, you'll see the little nubbins and the mold lines and things like that, and it's like, well, hang on, you spent hours painting a model that you haven't kind of cleaned up properly, and it lessens the paint job. It really does. Like I've seen it happen, unfortunately. Anyway, going off on one, like I do. Right, so we're gonna have a different arm set for this one. This one looks alright. No, that one's not very good. Let's try this one. No, that's not very good either. Let's try this one. No, this one could work. Oh. Yeah, we haven't used this for a while. Yeah, I'm going to use this. If we... So that's facing that way. So if we have him facing that way, yeah, that'll work. It's all about making them look all different. But yeah, I mean, with the amount of time you spend on the models and things, it really is personal choice. Of course it is. My best advice really is to spend as long as you can and as long as you think you can, to a point where you're happy with it. Like, you know, they're your models at the end of the day. I mean, it depends what your usage of the models is. I mean, you could just build them quick, paint them quick, and then spend many hours use them on the battlefield and gaming with them. That's cool. You could build them quick, paint them to a very nice standard, and sell them. You know, like a little commission business sort of thing, where people that don't really like the building and painting side but love the gaming side can just buy your models and then game with them straight away. I know people that sort of flip armies as well. So you might have one army for 2024, and then at the end of the year, after collecting it and building it and painting it, you might sell it all, and then start a fresh new army for 2025. I mean, that way you can start experiencing other armies and newer minis and things, rather than just Space Marines all the time. Which is cool. But that's the great thing about this hobby, is your models do retain a lot of their value. If anything, they go up in value if you've built and painted them as well, because you've invested your time in them. It's not like video games. Like I bought a PlayStation 5 game in sort of October, November time, I played it, you know, quite a bit for 2 weeks, and then when I sold it, I lost about almost 20 quid. Lost about 20 quid on it, just because I'd played it. But with this hobby, I can buy a Warlord Titan, build it and paint it, and sell it for probably double. So out of a lot of hobbies, this one definitely, you know, you can retain the value of minis, especially if they go out of production and out of stock. Or if they release some new rules. Tyranids were a great example. They released some Tyranid rules, and you know, lots of Tyranids went out of stock. I'm just trying to compare it to my other hobbies like watches. I do like my watches, but even watches normally lose their value. Normally, if you're selling them used. If they're unopened and brand new, then yeah, there's quite a few cases where they've gone up in value. But with watches, it very much depends on like what the fashion is and what's in and what's not, and you know, as well as the supply and demand. I think with watches you have to be very quick if you want to flip them and things. And then I talk about knives. So with knives, I think again that depends if they're used, doesn't it? But knives have gone up in value. Like the UK PK that I have, I think I want to say I bought that for about 50 or 60. They're now 100. Just for a standard UK PK, and then you get some knives that they don't make anymore. What sort of value do you put on those? Do you lower the value because they're used, or do you increase it because they're not in production anymore? I mean, this one, like for instance, like this is a Sage. I thought it was a Sage 1, but it's actually a Sage 2. So this is yeah, titanium and S30V. But I think this was cost me about 200 odd or so, and now I don't know. I don't know what that would be. That would be worth, because it's not in production anymore. Yeah, they are releasing all the Tomb Kings again. Yeah. The thing is though, one of my long-term viewers, he did say that Tomb Kings was actually one of the last armies released for sort of old Warhammer, and I couldn't remember, but he said they were released in like 2011, 2012, so not as old as you might think. But what gets me with the old world in general is the mishmash of plastic, metal, and resin. I'm not sure about if there's any fine cast, but it's those three different kind of materials. I don't know if I can lower that. So anybody kind of starting out is what I'm trying to say, will have to familiarise themselves with, you know, we can't all assume that we're all on the same path, the same journey that we've been doing Warhammer for all these years, and that we've already understand the different materials. I don't know about this model. I don't know. I think that pistol needs to be higher, maybe. Yeah, I don't know about this blade. Yeah, that one looks better. I'm going to go for that one. Do you think Games Workshop would ever bring Lucius Warhound Titan? I don't know. I'd like to think that they would, but everything has been Mars. You know, what the Warbringer, the Warlord, the Warhound, the Reaver. Everything's been Mars. So I'm kind of, I would love for them to bring out, you know, a plastic Lucius Warhound Titan. Okay. The only downside for them doing that is they would pretty much have to release all the other Titans for Lucius as well. The beauty about making a Lucius Warhound Titan is, I would argue, it's easier. I'd say easier to make in plastic because of all the, you know, flat panels and things. But at the same time, they have made plastic Mars pattern Warhounds for the Titanicus range. It's not as easy as just getting those parts and blowing them up, as their designers and sculptors have told me in person. You know, you can't have one piece for a specific Titan, because if it was just one piece, it would be one sprue, and the boxes are only so big. So that one piece of a full size one would actually have to be designed into multiple to then, you know, join together and blah blah blah. So I would like to see it, but if anything, I think there's more chance that we would get a plastic Mars Warhound than a plastic Lucius. Not saying that the Lucius has gone away. I mean, you know, they probably could make molds of the Lucius and bring it back like a made to order. And I think they will do that. So I don't think it's completely gone. It's almost like the Tau Orca. I think a lot of people would love to see the Tau Orca make a comeback. Well, I know at least a couple of people that would. So yeah, I wouldn't rule it out. But then again, the Lucius Warhound did have a good run. I think it was initially released in, I want to say 2001, it might be 2002. I know that I picked mine up in 2002. But yeah, it ran for a good 15 years or so, probably a bit more. I'd like to see them redo them all, like the Warhound and the Reaver specifically, just for the instruction manuals. The instruction manuals for the Warbringer and the Warlord are lovely. They're very, very nice. And it's what you kind of expect for a sort of £1,000, £2,000 model. Afternoon, Maxim. How are you doing? Okay, we've got the final two to build, and then that's the 10 done. But first, so I'm making good timing, good progress with these. Quite happy with the progress I've made. So let's just cut their bodies off the sprue, and then I'll go grab a cup of tea. Maybe even some chocolate biscuits. Ooh, what a treat. 53, 52, and 51. Yeah, that's this head. Does he get a pouch? No, he doesn't get a pouch. Pouch over there. Can you believe it? This is actually the first sprue that I've completed even. Very good, Argyle. How are you? Clip these off because we're not going to be using these. There won't be a live stream tomorrow, by the way, but there will be one on Sunday, and it'll probably be like in the morning or early afternoon or something. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's a potential of me doing one tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening even. So where's this 59 head? Because we might be missing a head here. That's probably that one. Yeah, in fact I think it is that one. I do wonder if either of these Monday blasters will work on this head. I've got 56 and 57, which aren't these, but I'll have these at the ready. Again, I think this is like the Sergeant sprue. I mean, you do get some spare parts with this Striking Scorpion set. I'm not saying that you don't get any. You just get far fewer than the Scout set. It's not really built for options, both the set and the unit, whereas Scouts are. Okay. Resin mini building Sunday, definitely. Yeah, it will be resin on Sunday. What would you like to see, Maxim? As I think the only member in here now at the moment, you get dibs. Can't remember. Dibs. 59. You get first dibs on what to build. Or paint. I'm not adverse to painting on a Sunday. Even though kind of Sunday's the non-Warhammer day, I've got a really nice non-Warhammer video to release. Of course it's about watches, but it'll be my state of the collection this Sunday. So all of my watches, with the exception of this one, because I got this one recently, like very recently. No worry, Tombs. No worries. I will be live streaming on Sunday, Tombs, if you're not at work on the Sunday. So you might be able to catch me then. I've had a few days off, so I thought I'd come on for a few hours today. And that's all the parts off the sprues. Done. Right. Yep. So I'll just go grab a cup of tea, and then we'll finish these last two scorpions. So spared no expense. Either some work on a Titan or a character, or the Thunderhawk. I could probably finish the Thunderhawk, like all the parts of the Thunderhawk on Sunday. That's a possibility. Or I could carry on painting the Warbringer. They're the options, I think. But thank you. Yeah, I do like the Siegebreaker console. Looks good. Right, guys, I'm just going to go get a cup of tea. Krieg would love the Thunderhawk. We'll be back in a sec, guys. Okay, I am back. Oh. Oops. Okay, right. Here we go. No worries, teams, no worries. Yes, I am planning to review the Assault Jetpack Squad. Sorry for the delay for those. I've been very busy with loads of other things, and yeah, they are getting there. So it won't be long soon. Obviously, Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Sunday goes. But I want to do something a bit different Sunday rather than building, you know, more plastic minis, more small plastic minis, if you know what I mean. Like so. Yeah, I'll endeavour to get that review out quite soon for them. So thank you for your patience. Yeah, the Dark Angels are very nice. I'm lucky in that I built them quite a while ago. I want to say I really got into building them and things when Corswain and Marduk were released. So yeah, for me, for Horus Heresy, all the word bearers are built. So like I've got 10 of these bad boys. The Iron Circle. Are they the Iron Circle? They're not the Iron Circle, are they? They're something. I've forgotten what they are. I'll remember at some point. But anyway, I've got those. I've even built some Legion specific Mark IVs with melter gun. Ashen Circle, there you go. Thank you, Maxim. I've got the Mark IVs with the word bearers, chest plates and the shoulder pauldrons and the helmets. So I've built quite a few of them. I built the word bearers Contemptor with a melter and cheeky chain fist and a melter in there as well. Obviously I've got Argyltal and I've got, you know, Maragul. Is it Maragul? I can't remember what his name is, but anyway, I sort of heat treated him and put him in a way better pose than he comes in. So that was quite cool. He's a pretty big Contemptor Dreadnought actually. I've even built. Is it Erebus and Pharaon? I don't know where they've got to, but they're somewhere anyway. So yeah, you've got all of those reviews to come out. But what I'm planning to do is, before those reviews, now that, you know, Dark Angel's sort of characters are complete, I would like to sneak in the Soulblight Gravelord reviews, because I never reviewed them. And I know I've still got Lumineth, which I frantically built to get ready for review, but never reviewed those. So if I can sneak in Soulblight Gravelords and then review all the word bearers, then that'll be fine. Yeah, I like the new Black Shield's character. Yeah, he looks quite cool. He looks big. I like what they've done with the armor. I'd like to see more of that kind of thing. More of black shields where they've sort of cobbled together their own armour. Definitely. Oh, thanks, Tombs. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. It's a lot to juggle. It is. I mean, it'd be all right if it was just this. Like, if it was just YouTube, I'd be live streaming every day, videos every day, painting as well, just everything. But because I have a full-time job and part-time job and fitness things, yeah, it's a lot to juggle in, definitely. I'm not complaining. It's all choice, you know. But yeah, if it was just this and just the channel, yeah, it'd be all right. But anyway, everyone's busy these days. Absolutely everybody. Um, oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'd like to get one because well, if you've read the Lion book, that's kind of the vibes it gave me a little bit. But we need some cloaks on him. If we put a cloak on him or a hood on him or something, then yeah, that's the vibes I'm getting. Is that it could have been one of the fallen, I guess, maybe. If you wanted to play it that narrative, like if you didn't want to play the Horus Heresy narrative and you wanted him to be some kind of like forgotten space marine on a world, I want to see something big from Forge World though. This is the thing, we've had lots of character models, and you know the last big thing we had for them was I say big thing, was the Aquila. No, the Arvis Lighter, sorry. The rumour is they're going to bring back the Chaos Mammoth for Old World. So that will be a big model that Forge World are bringing back. Titan wise, hell, I mean, at the moment, I'd just be satisfied if they brought back the Warbringer. You can't pick up the Warbringer at the moment. It's just not on there. It hasn't been on there for a while. I wonder what's happened to it. And yeah, don't get me started on a Wolf Scout Titan. I would not want one of those in resin. I think it would be a complete waste of sort of Forge World resources. I'd much rather them the amount of time it would take to create a brand new like Warhound sized Titan. I'd much rather them spend all of those resources on I don't know, multiple weapons for the Reaver or for the Warlord. Yes, I would rather have more weapons than a large version of a Titan that isn't out. My wish list would be at the very top, Reaver carapace weapon options, Warlord carapace weapon options, a Warbringer Titan. No, not Warbringer. Warmaster Titan. And then other bits and pieces like new weapons for the Warhound, something like that. Although it's mainly a Mechanicum weapon, having that sonic disruptor array thing, that huge sonic cannon, forgotten its name, on a Warbringer would look cool. And then give it like huge conversion beamer cannons for its arms. Because I think they're already kind of doing that. Or large Volkite. Okay, this one's pretty much done. Just a heads up, I'm planning to leave today about 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock or whenever I finish these 2 scorpions. That's the sort of cut off. Just to give you all a sort of like a heads up. And I will be back. I'll be back on Sunday. Morning or afternoon, something like that. Not in the evening though. Oops. Right. Headwise. Should fit on there. Mandy blasters only fit one way. yeah, that one fits fine. Yeah, I don't think I would get any more striking scorpions. In total, I think I've got 20 now. I think. This is the thing with Eldar. In my head, I've got a sort of a number of models and units and things, but with Space Marines, it's just always and it's the same for Sisters of Battle too. But with Space Marines, definitely it's an ongoing force. Right, so what arms did they give? They gave this one. Actually, it probably was this one. And then this blade. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the two things there. And that is this one done. One more to go. Quite a cool pose. I think I've got another one of these glues. No, I've got some spare parts there though. And then we've got these. Yeah, all of these biting blades and other dual chainsaws and things are to do with the X-Arc. Fair few spare parts though. This little pile in the corner. It's quite cool. Just clip these off first. So that one is prepared already. Yeah, no worries, Toombs. Have a good one. See you later. I'm going to head off in about 20 minutes. As I say, I will be back Sunday. Again, I'll cut the nubbin off this. So which do you prefer, Scouts or Scorpions? As a kit, I prefer the Scouts. because there's way more options. You know, and so for a builder, I like there being options and, you know, being able to, yeah, just customize your minis. Looks wise though, I do prefer the Scorpions, and that's mainly because I think we only had a Finecast set before for Scorpions, I think. Whereas Scouts, we've had plastic. And I actually think some of the old Scouts look quite good in kind of a quirky sort of way. Some of the metal ones. There's a lot of sort of personality and character with those models. Yeah, but these are the best looking Scorpions we've ever had, I think. But unfortunately, they've had the same treatment as the Howling Banshees, and no doubt any of the other Aspect Warriors that Games Workshop choose to update. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Scout squad set isn't the second coming of the Stone Guard. You know, let's not give them too much credit. It's because the Stone Guard set, all of them do look really cool, and you get so many spare parts that you can use in other Primaris sets. But the problem with me and my spare parts is I put them in individual bags and then I just sort of forget about them. It's a curse of building so many armies. Right, let's put these together. Okay, so now we get to choose the type of arms for this one. Okay, so the head is done. So again, we either go for an outstretched arm, which probably would work. I don't have many that are aiming. 1, 2, I've only got 2 that are aiming. So this one aiming would look quite decent. Yeah, we'll have him aiming. Now for the blade. Ooh. Yeah, that looks good. That works with the... That'll work far better than this one. Yeah, far better than that one. gate we've decided. At the moment, it's definitely going to be a toss-up between the Thunderhawk build and the Nemesis painting. I kind of want to paint though, like. Yeah, paint the Warbringer, yeah. I'd like to finish the main body and paint some of the armor parts. It's the toes really I wanna paint. I want to paint all the toes and then glue them so that they're at least done. Well, the toe ankle armor paneling, that's what I want to do. Because it is a bit of a faff moving that Titan around when all the toe armor plates aren't glued in. Because they do come loose and they do fall out, and they're all specific to certain toes and certain legs. So, you know. Are the Striking Scorpions worth it? I don't know. I mean, they're very similar to the Howling Banshees. If you can get them at a discount somewhere, then yeah. But I wouldn't get 10. It depends on what your army, you know, what your force you're building. You know, if your force is gonna work around 10 of them, then I'd probably give them a miss. But if you just want to have 5, like in a Falcon or something, then yeah, worth picking up 5. Hello, Victor. How are you doing? incredible. Okay. Yeah, I think that works quite well. Yep, happy with that one. 2. Brilliant. So that's the final one that looks a little bit different than that one, and a different pose. Again, they don't show you or tell you that you can put them in different poses at all in the instruction manual. Like, you know, that they don't. They just go, right, you're putting them in exactly the same pose, but you're just swapping the heads. What I've done with all these, and I'll highlight it in the review, is I have put them all in different poses. So all 10 of them look different than each other. Different head poses, head directions, different weapons for a lot of the twins. The Exarch, I've just given him a chainsword and a scorpion's claw. It's fine, you know. The thing is with the Exarch, you do get some very decent options. You know, you get the claw, the dual blades, and then the biting blade itself. So it's a tough choice. But you know, you can have an Exarch per 5. So I could have built 2, but I wanted to build the 10. And that is it for all of the models in the Kill Team set, including the scenery. This is what you get right here. This is quite a rare chance to see all of this. You know, before the review, I guess. But yeah, that is the Kill Team sort of set. I'll be reviewing these now. Well, a little bit later, I think, or maybe even Sunday. And then I'll be reviewing the set, and yeah, I'll be back on Sunday, like I say. So I'll be I think I'll be painting. I want to do some painting on Sunday, so I'll be back then. But thanks everyone for joining this sort of ad hoc stream. Thank you, Maxim, again for chipping in, and yeah, hopefully see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. The Emperor Protects.